What does it feel like to stand on the sacred ground in the middle of New York City? It's not a museum, it's not behind glass, but outside where their energy feels different from the moment you arrive. So today, we're back at the African Burial Ground in Lower Manhattan. But this time, we're stepping outside to the monument itself. If you haven't seen part one, I suggest you check it out. We've shared our experience inside the visitor center, the exhibits, the history, the sound. But this is something else entirely. But first, I'm Cassandra from Passport and Soul, where we help midlife BIPOC travelers reduce travel stress and design culturally meaningful experiences that leave you restored and not exhausted. Now back to the video. The African Burial Ground Monument is located just behind the Visitor Center at the corner of Duane Street and African Burial Ground Way. And when you walk up to it, it's striking. You're surrounded by typical New York City buildings, concrete movement and noise. But right in the middle of all that is an open, sacred space. And what stood out to me immediately was a sense of serenity in the space, especially when you consider that just a block or two away, traffic was in full effect. You know, that stereotypical New York City horn honking and everything. But here, it was almost like the space was asking you to slow down. And there are benches where you can sit, reflect, and just be. And that alone makes this experience different from so many other places in the city. Now, when we first approached the monument, the upright structure immediately caught my attention. To me, it looked like a sail. And then I thought about the transatlantic journey that brought these African ancestors to these shores and how horrible it must have been. There was a quote carved in the front of the monument that was especially poignant. It said, "For all those who are lost, for all those who were stolen, for all those who were left behind, for all those who were not forgotten." And in reading that, feel it. It's not just word. And at that moment, my heart went out to them. I really, really hope that they're at peace now. In the structure, the sail part, as I call it, which is really called the ancestral chamber, is one of the ways that you can enter the monument. It stands 24 feet high, representing the depth below the ground where the remains were found. And it's made from Verde Fontaine green granite brought from Africa. According to the National Park Service, it symbolizes the soaring African spirit. And when you enter, the space shifts again. It becomes even more intimate and more reflective, and you have a unique view of the inner monument. So let me ask you something. When you visit places like this, do you move through them like a tourist? Or do you allow yourself to pause and really feel what's there? Take a moment and think about that. And if you're open to it, share in the comments. How do you approach spaces that carry this kind of history? Now, surrounding the monument is what's called the Circle of the Diaspora. It displays cultural and spiritual images from Africa, Latin America, the Caribbean, and other areas of the diaspora. The monument is beautifully done and expands the experience beyond just one place or time. And it connects the story of those buried here to the broader African diaspora. This circle is created in a way that makes the monument fully accessible, which I really appreciated. As you move through the circle, there are areas where you can read about the individuals who were found there, including their approximate age and sex. So here's a quick video of what the center of the monument looks like. There's also signage around the monument that explains the different elements and their meaning. And then on the back of the main structure, there's a carved mat that shows both the current burial ground and the original boundaries of what was once called the Negroes' burial ground. It's a reminder of just how much history exists beneath our feet. Now, there's one part of the monument that's easy to miss if you're not paying attention, Off to the right, it's the ancestral reinterment ground. And this space includes 7 burial mounds where the remains and artifacts were respectfully reburied. They were placed in hand-carved coffins from Ghana, which were lined with kente cloth. And even that small detail, it feels really intentional, honoring origin, honoring identity. And you also are allowed to place flowers on the mounds if you choose. So what stood out most to us about this experience was the contrast. Inside the visitor center, you're learning, you're processing, you're absorbing. It's active. But out here, you're invited to be still, to reflect, to feel. And both parts are necessary because together they create a fuller understanding, not just of the history, but of connection. So if you want to better understand the lives of enslaved Africans in New York and experience a space that honors them with both truth and reverence, highly recommend visiting both the Visitor Center and the monument. Come ready to learn, but also come ready to pause. The two are very different, but the two halves create a whole that connects you to the past and helps you look forward to your future. And if this video resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't already, be sure to watch part 1 where we take you inside the Visitor Center. If you're someone who wants your travels to be meaningful, grounding, and deeply connected, subscribe to Passport and Soul. Until next time, travel slow, travel well, and travel with soul.